Alright, so I'm making this video because it's easier to make this than write a post and all that. So here's what's gonna happen. Recently the server was raided by Cozy along with some other people. Um, Obviously they failed. They tried destroying all spawn. Didn't really work out too much. Um, if they were just a tad bit smarter, they could have, done something else. But the reason why this happened was because the server was cracked. Um, and it pains me to say this, but it has made people feel unsafe. It's made me feel unsafe in certain situations. So the server will no longer be cracked. It's going to be a premium only server. Um, I do want to work on a cracked project of it later, at a later date, but this one is the main thing. I'm not going to put anyone at risk and all that, and we've already had multiple issues so far involving this. Um, the only way to better our security is to make it premium. So with that being said, it's premium now. Well, what happened to the server? Originally, we were going to open test for until everything was done. Then we're going to do smack on finishing touches. But that cannot be the case. And the reason for that is because, well, now it's premium, so we had to make a decision. Do we want to keep it cracked, keep on opening testing going, and hope that nothing happens, or do we want to, keep it closed, keep it premium, and all that? We decided to keep it premium. So there have been a lot of talks about it and all that. So a lot of people were wondering, well, why are we taking polls on new spawn and all that? This spawn was off Planet Minecraft. So we are making a new spawn. We are fixing a lot of stuff, and I am teaching my staff how I like stuff done, so we can get a whole lot more. So I'm going to give the current plans of how we want to do stuff, along with what we're gonna do, how we're gonna do it, and other stuff. So number one is PQs. PQs were not the best early game, but they were too good late game. The reason for this was because they had TP equal to your HP, then they got divided, but everyone got too strong, so it's like it didn't matter. And then after that, well, if they got too strong, people would stay weak. Then there's also the early game problem, and we tried fixing it with just giving free stats, but that was not too good. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna lighten up the load on grinding. Dragon Ball Saga is gonna be actually fun because we are advancing their AI and adding more Dragon Ball related training styles, such as, I don't know, mowing Roshi's lawn or something like that, fighting off wolves. We want to do stuff like that, mainly to enhance the whole Dragon Ball experience, because in early Dragon Ball, they weren't fighting that much. So that's the plan for PQs. For other stuff, units, for example, they're going to stay in, but we are going to rework them, so they're all hopefully equally as good, besides Dragon Clan, because that shit is just forever going to be good. Sorry, I am sick right now. I got strep throat. So we are working on that. Along with that, we are redoing our ranks and some other stuff. So the current plans are we want to get up to the Golden Frieza Saga, and then we want to release after the Golden Frieza Saga, or we want to release when we finish that. Not when we finish it, but PQ wise, that's going to be the last PQ. So every 15 PQs is a saga. So we're adding 30 more PQs, which is about 105 PQs. With this, there's going to be a few more things added. Every 15 PQs, we want to add 2 sparring trainers. And we tried to add new arena. We were going to do waves, but waves got too laggy. So we might not do them. We might do something better with them. But that's how that's looking. Along with this, we are adding 4 new ranks, 2 for each. So we're going to add a new rank to Demigra, or 2 new ranks to Demigra, and 2 new ranks to Elder Kai. And then their AI is actually going to be pretty good. Now, they are going to have a lot of stuff locked behind each other. So, for example, temporarily speaking, we're going to be using Haven Core as a substitute for a evil version of the old Kai unlock, because in Otherworld, the old Kai unlock is going to be locked to people who use Elder Kai. But there is going to be some stuff for Demigra. Obviously, in any instance, besides Parallel Quest and maybe some other stuff, Elder Kai will not talk to you if you are evil, and Demigra will not talk to you if you are good. All of them, they're going to develop their own custom training stuff along with some other stuff. Deities. Deities are going to be in. We do have to redo the Zeno elections because the current Zeno has not been on ever. And how we're going to do these is essentially you're going to have to meet requirements. So, for example, if I want to claim Kai, I'm going to have to beat the Kai training exam at Elder Kai. And I would need to beat a certain PQ. I believe it was set to 75. If I want to be Hell's Guardian, it's going to be set to 60. So I got to beat Yema's quest, and then I got to fight PQ 60 and all that. To be a God of Destruction, and I believe God of Destruction is going to be the last PQ for Battle of Gods, and then Angel's probably going to be the last PQ for Golden Frieza, and then obviously they're both going to give you their own quest to get that, and so on. So that's really the plan for that. Now, for everything else, config-wise, the grind will not be as bad TP-wise, or like stat-wise, but we do want to minimize how much stats are being used. So we do plan to lower the stat cap from 50k down to 10k. Along with this, we are revamping Zenkai Boost, and we are doing some other stuff to make it so Zenkais aren't necessarily the best. Some stuff that we have on our to-do list, I'll actually read it off to you guys right now because a lot of it isn't set. So this is just some general stuff that everyone knows we got to do. So we're going to finish the gravity chambers. We are going to completely overhaul the configs. A lot of people were complaining about the forms and all that. We understand. We are going to go by each form individually and make them so much better. We're also going to build races differently. So, for example, humans, for example, they're going to gain stats fast, but they're not going to get like too high multipliers. The Mechians, they are probably not going to get later forms, or their forms are probably not going to be too strong early on, so they're going to get their giant form, which is probably going to be like 3 times multiplier. Then full release is probably going to be in Cell Saga, but they do gain stats incredibly fast. And then later on, their mastery picks up, they get their god form early, and so on. Finish up the Golden Frieza, I just said that. Rework spawn, we are making a new spawn. We are going to completely overhaul the economy. The economy plans, we want to make this server last long. Obviously, last time around, I was not the best at it. Cody is going to be doing some of the economy stuff. We also going to have to rework rank ups because we do want to add some more stuff to rank ups, make them a lot cooler and whatnot. We are going to add a way for you to buy a warp to a planet. What else? We are going to retexture the planets, get them all nice and fancy and all that. We are going to revamp our weapon shop, add our own weapons, throw in some custom weapons, and all that, you know. Along with this, we are going to rework Dragon Clan completely, because we wanted to make it balanced, but, you know, it's also not the best right now. And we are going to rework stats specifically. Along with this, we're going to fix the Shenrons. We're going to add our own custom dragon. A lot of you guys who played Hikari before, you guys probably know about the dragon that I'm speaking of, but I'm not going to say anything. Um, because we are working on it. Along with this, I am working on a Hikari texture pack, which is going to overhaul like the GUI and all that for this, and some other cool stuff. But yeah, that's really the plan right now. Obviously, I'll pull up the TPS. TPS has been doing really good lately. Then again, I'm the only one on, but the server's been on for like 3 hours or something. So that's so far the plans. Obviously, we're gonna add a lot more training methods and all that. We plan to do a complete Dragon Ball training thing. We plan to add some more stuff, and a lot of people ask me, mastery. What's the mastery system gonna look like? Mastery system is gonna be decently faster, but it's also gonna be slower at the same time. So the changes I'm thinking about making on it are a few things. So it's gonna be like 50% faster, but form progressions for a lot of other races. So for example, Arcosians, their form progression is gonna be really slow. So fifth form and all that, and ultimate form, they're gonna be really slow to master. And the reason for that is because, well, they're gonna have a really high multiplier. So fifth form, we're thinking about having it set so you can get up to 200 times multiplier on it. In golden form, might have it so you can get up to a 5,000 times multiplier on it. So as you can see, that is pretty good. As for other races, full release is going to be similar to that, just not to the same level. Saiyan forms will not be getting any stronger. They will keep their same multipliers. Majin forms are going to be completely redone. We do want to buff the absorption and some other stuff. As for androids, they will no longer have custom forms. We are not going to be using any of the JDE custom forms. We are just going to be balancing out the DBC forms and add a few Haven Core forms. Because we've tried defense testing, it's just not the best. So that's what we're looking at right now. Though we might change our minds. What else is there? Gotta think about this. I mean, obviously, if there are any questions, my DMs are open. I always try and be nice and, answer them if need be. So that's mainly it. Oh, there's one other thing. The people who played our open testing phase will be getting rewarded. They will be getting rewarded with ranks. Now, the people who bought ranks will get their ranks back. The people who earned the ranks will not. They will get something else. And how the new rank system would work is essentially people were complaining like, hey, this guy got like Omega or something, and he was able to breeze through into the Namekian Saga. So how we're gonna have it set now is essentially you're not gonna be able to redeem a rank until you beat a certain saga, and we're gonna redo the ranks. So essentially, we're gonna have Nataron. We're gonna have I believe it's Oceanus. We're gonna have all those and all that. So all the GT dragons, they're all gonna be ranks and all that. So each saga is gonna have a GT dragon to it. So for example, the equivalent of VIP would be Nataron. So if you have Nataron and all that, you're not gonna be able to redeem that until you beat PQ 15. Actually, no, I believe it's you're gonna be able to redeem that on the start, but you're not gonna be able to redeem like Oceanus until you beat PQ 15. And then like the next one, I believe the third one, I forget what it's called specifically. But you're not gonna be able to redeem that one until you beat PQ 30, and so on and so forth. As for Super, chances are Omega is gonna be called Sin, and then Super is gonna be called Omega. Temporarily. But that's how we're gonna do it. So that's pretty much everything. One thing, I can't say what, but there will be free-to-play only rewards on certain cases. So if someone does buy stuff, they are not going to be able to access an ending. However, it's not going to be the biggest thing. It's just going to be something that's like, oh wow, this is pretty cool. Um, so yeah, obviously we're reworking it. A lot of people are complaining. I do want to say this is a testing phase. All the stuff that we, you know, showed y'all was something that was supposed to be tested and be like, oh, hey, yeah, this is clearly overpowered. So stats, they're not going to progress fast. Form mastery, you're not going to get forms too quickly. I'm saying this because a lot of people don't like the heavy grind. Hikari is not made for people who want everything in like a day. Because of the fact that, you know, we like having our forms earned because, you know, the form is insanely high. So, for those of you who think that you're going to get God form in a week, you are dead wrong. I'll post some math and all that for it. Like, hey, so you need X amount of hours to get this form and all that. Probably somewhere around here. But you are also going to be able to, you know, buff your mastery, of course. There's going to be a lot more mastery training because mastery at this point is more important than stats. And as for, I talked about the prestige system. That's not going to be a thing until we finish everything else because we don't know exactly how we want it to work. So, but so that's about it. Like, subscribe, whatever. I don't give a shit.